Hello and welcome to another video. So we have some neutral blood. Thought neutral blood was dead, guys? Well, guess what? It's not. It's actually back a little bit stronger than it was before, especially with the nice addition of Paradise Vanguard as a really solid banish option and Moon and Sun as a really good neutral recyclable card. Everything else is actually pretty stock standard to neutral blood, but even in the current meta it can stand on its own legs and be quite aggressive, which is always good to see. With all the other kind of blood decks floating around, it's not so bad to go back to a deck that you know you'd probably have the cards for if you were playing last expansion, and that is reasonably cheap. I mean, only running 3 legendaries here total, and only, what, a handful of golds? Maybe a little bit more than a handful. I mean, we are running 12. That's still pretty good. 10 2-drops, 18 2-drops, I can't read numbers, clearly. But, really fun. I mean, why not? Neutral blood, love playing Impartial Strix, everything else is just great. Gotta play that Happy Pig because oink oink and all that kind of jazz, so we'll get right into it and check it out. Okay, so first up, Shadow. Shadow as Reanimate has been quite strong. It's definitely a deck I recommend you check out if you get the chance. I unfortunately don't have the cards to do so, but definitely something I'll be looking at in the future. We start off with a pretty reasonable hand, a couple of 2-drops and Phantom Cat. Work out pretty nicely. It does get our blood cards out of our deck early, which is good. Of course, you don't really have much of a 1-drop play outside of Goblin or Merman, and other than Goblin, Merman's not great on 1. The Bellinus the Shining, though, feels a little clunky. But our Bahamut should hopefully get a favourable trade against it, with a better health total, of course. And we should have, getting that Phantom Cat make a big difference. That should be nearly a guaranteed 8 damage at this point. With how many neutrals we're running compared to blood cards, it's definitely hard not to hit that 4 damage with it. And we can also heal some of that damage we've taken with this Happy Pig. So Gloomy Necromancer coming down reasonably early, banishing Hector. We've seen some interesting Hector decks lately, with both Reanimate Zeus playing Hector and even a really heavy Reanimate Storm deck playing Hector. Very interesting one overall. I wouldn't have expected that from those decks.
Stay impartial.
But our Impartial Strix is going to put a massive follower on the board. I think probably one of the most powerful neutral cards when it comes to just silver cards in general. Of course, we do have things like Israfil, the big legendaries, but for a 4-drop neutral card in any neutral deck, you cannot pass up Strix. It's just that good. So this is where Hector finally gets a time to shine. 3 damage to the face with nothing on board and creating a nice ward.
Life does what I say.
Sedwin Eternity Hunter. That's not that impressive, and it doesn't look like they're going to use their Evolve, since they do only have 1 left. Which is great for me, because it means my Hector can actually deal another 3 damage and use the Evolve. I also should have probably used the Wise Merman here on the 4/4 that I could use to attack face. It would have got me 1 extra damage in. But, I mean, really, I can always use those later in this game. They're pretty good overall, and even if just one of these survived, it would have been worthwhile, but unfortunately we do lose both. But they did leave me a free turn to play Phantom Cat, so I'm not going to pass that opportunity up at all. So there is 4 damage plus a Goblin play. Makes it hard to remove both. Service of the Night though, interrupting my game plan, only to be able to kill off my Phantom Cat. Of course, it doesn't interrupt it too much.
We'll meet again.
They are going to go up to 9 after playing this card, as they will Burial Rite a card to gain 1, so really we need this Phantom Cat to hit 4. If it hits 4, then we win. Because Phantom Cat for 4, Goblin for 3 with the Evo, and our Fiery, sorry, what is it? Not Fiery Embrace, Razory Claw. Razory Claw for 3. Super good. Being able to kill off little Luna, taking our first victory with the deck. This next match is a blood on blood match. Of course, they have Dark General Leader, which I wish I kinda had, but I do like my Vania Leader anyway, so it would be a tough decision to weigh up between Dark General and Vania, if I had it. And we actually started off with a pretty good hand. Happy Pig and Strix are great, and I don't mind keeping a Razor Claw, especially in a more aggressive matchup like Blood. Our draw is also not bad. A second Strix is going to be hard when we play both out. So 1 on 4 requires to be dealt with, 1 on 5 is going to be dealt with, and then Phantom Cat draw gives us a good turn 6 play. Of course, Snarling Chains from the Bloodcraft player. It does mean they take 1 damage to remove that. We basically took none initially, but they do get the 2-in off the follower, so not too bad for them. Don't really have any other play other than to use this 2-1 here. Just really don't want to waste anything else. And I expect them to be fairly aggressive, so even if they do clear this 2-1, it wouldn't be the worst case scenario. Leaving it up though does work in my favour a little, and this Strix is going to be huge. You can't afford to leave a Strix up, basically. If you have that out on board, on 4, with the Evo, 7 damage, it's going to kill you pretty quickly. That 7 damage, especially when you're playing against another Bloodcraft deck, really hurts. So they're basically going to deal with this as immediately as possible. Which is going to cost them this Evo.
All I need.
Pretty effective way to deal with it though. They definitely had a good card to go for it, but with only 2 cards left, can they deal with the second one? That's where things get more interesting.
Hey, check this out.
Can they deal with the second Strix immediately?
Stay impartial.
Especially one that's clearing their board. So there are a few cards I can think of that Blood would have to get rid of this, but the question is, would they have that, and are they affording to play it? Razor Claw, hitting me in the face. They're really going to try and rush this. Of course, it looks like I am going to have to take some huge risks. I mean, a Dark General would be lethal against me, but I think this is probably the only way to really go with it. I don't want to take any more damage because I'll be opened up to a Razor Claw. I'd rather be at least partially survivable here. So I do end up targeting the 1-2, getting rid of the goblins so that I'm not open to that Razor Claw play. Which I'm glad I did, because Razor Claw was exactly what they had. Luckily no Dark General yet either, because we didn't end up putting them in Vengeance, so they're probably not going to be playing that. And thanks to Hellblindy here, for 4 damage to the face, we actually have our own lethal. Very, very close game, but extremely exciting for me to play out. Those Strix really did help us snowball that game. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, check out this deck in the description below. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.